but we serve a mighty God that is more than capable to move heaven and earth, that is more than capable to put people in power. And they may or may not be godly people, but that does not mean that God cannot use those people. I was at a pastor's conference one time, and one of the pastors got up and spoke, and he had a man in his church, and this man and his father were in business together. And they went to church together. But the father in this relationship, he didn't really go to church because he loved the Lord. He just kind of went to church because of the business connections and these type of things. And the young man ended up getting married. And about 2 years went by, and the father ended up he really started to treat this young man's wife horribly, telling him, you don't need to be with her, she's awful, she's going to ruin your life, if y'all have kids together, it's going to be awful. And so this is not only a father and a son working together, but they're business partners, 50-50 in this business together. And the son went to his pastor, the one that was speaking at this pastor's conference, and he said, I don't know what to do. He said, I think I should sell my business to my dad, but I don't really want to, and this is my dream. And he said, well, approach your dad about selling the business to you. And that was the plan, that eventually the father was going to retire and the son was going to take over the business. And he went to his father and said, Dad, would you go ahead and sell me your half of the business? And he said, no, I won't. He said, you've got that awful wife, and she's going to run the business and run my legacy and all that. Young man went back to his pastor, said, he's not going to sell me the business. And he said, okay. He said, we're going to start praying for your dad. That if God will not change his heart, if he will not allow himself to be changed by the power of God, we just pray that God would remove him out of the situation. Because this is an ungodly situation where the father is accusing the son and his wife of things that are not going on. A couple weeks went by. The father went to his son. He said, I want to go ahead and sell you my part of the business. He said, draw up the paperwork and send it to me. He drew up the paperwork, sent it to him, and he signed it. He buys the business outright. And as tragic as it is to think that you would have to cut your father out of your life, if your father is doing ungodly things, you set boundaries and do not allow them to come and attack your wife. Amen? When you become married, your first priority, people, is to your spouse. I don't know if you know that or not, but the Bible clearly tells us to leave our mothers and fathers and cleave to this other person that we're married to. You become one with them. The father in that story, it's just to show you how the power of God can move. The father in this story, about 2 weeks come by, and he says, why did I sell you my business? He comes back to his son. He said, I want to buy my half back. And the son says, no way. He said, how did you trick me into selling my business to you? The son did not trick him, but the Spirit of God moved on behalf of God's people. And even corrupt people can be influenced by the power of God, even when they don't have a choice in the matter. And I love this story because God was always on the side of the young man and his wife and the righteousness that they stood for. Amen?